Hey everyone, hope you're doing really well. So today we will be returning to the scene of the crime from my previous video pretty much straight away and having a look at the overclocking results for the GTX 1080 Ti. What I've been doing for the last few days is finding firstly the maximum stable manual overclock that I could, and also making use of the auto overclocking function of the MSI Afterburner utility. Those of you who are familiar with this utility will know that it is a feature for all 1000, 2000 and 3000 series NVIDIA GPUs, and after running a number of tests find what it determines to be the maximum stable overclock for your card. I can tell you guys now already that I was able to get better results from the manual overclock, but let's go ahead and have a look at exactly how much of a difference the overclocking made. How the auto overclocking function from MSI Afterburner works is that firstly you unlock voltage control for your GPU from the settings menu. You then adjust the sliders for voltage, power limit and temperature to the maximum settings possible. This will not damage your card, but it does give you more headroom in order to achieve the best overclock possible. You will see that there is no longer a numerical value for the core clock, but simply a word that says curve. What the auto overclocking function does is dynamically adjust the core clock and voltage of the card based upon the usage. On the manual side of things, what I have done is kept all settings exactly the same, except given the core clock a numerical value of 85. This was the maximum value possible without the card crashing. As I'm making use of the exact same methodology for this round of testing, I will be using the stock results from the previous video as a baseline, and then measuring each round of testing, the auto and the manual overclock, as a percentage increase of the stock results. The ambient temperature in the room was 27 degrees. I did not control the temperature, but I did measure it in order to make sure that the ambient stayed the same throughout the testing. In the auto overclocking section, we saw an increase of 62 MHz in the maximum boost clock, or 3% over the stock frequency. This did carry through to the results, as we can see increases in the range of 2 to 4%. In the manual overclocking section, we recorded a maximum boost clock of 2025 MHz, which is an increase of 101 MHz over the stock frequency, or an increase of 5%. Once again, this did carry through to the results, as we saw increases in the range of 3 to 8%. So I have to admit, I was just a little bit disappointed that we did not get a higher overclock out of the Seahawk, considering the thermal headroom that the card has. But after doing a bit of digging into the past, I realized that the thermal headroom is not the limiting factor. Had we had a card with two 8-pin connectors instead of one 8-pin and one 6-pin, we may have had a little bit more success, as this would have allowed the card a higher power delivery in order to achieve a higher overclock. However, a boost clock of over 2000 MHz for the GTX 1080 Ti is actually quite good and in line with other reviews of this card. As we can see, this netted us a performance of roughly 5%, but as always it is up to you, the end user, to decide whether or not doing this is actually worth it. The overclock process itself these days is actually quite simple, and you can do it fairly safely without damaging your card. Most cards these days do have built-in protection to ensure that the user cannot damage the card by setting some settings incorrectly. However, you can rest safe in the knowledge that even if you do not overclock your card, you are already getting close to maximum performance. Thanks for watching, guys and girls. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers.